Good morning, everybody. How we doing? How we doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I am on Facebook and Instagram right now. And really, I just wanted to come on and just share a couple thoughts. This morning, I was getting dressed and I did a little bit of writing this morning, and just things kept dropping in my spirit. And so something dropped in my spirit and I couldn't get it out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go and talk about this. So for those of you who know me, like of course, I'm a personal finance strategist. Everything that I teach is based off of biblical principle, and with my clients and the people that are in my program, we work out those principles through technique, right? And the whole goal is for them to be able to see God's overwhelming abundance in their life. So I think the reason why this dropped in my spirit, the reason why it just made me feel some type of way is because this is something that I've been sharing with them over the program in the last 2 months. This is something that's just really been in my heart. But the title of this live is You Don't Have to Be a Broke Believer, period. You don't have to be a broke believer. I believe that one of my responsibilities that I have in life um, is to show people, to show believers how to live a life of abundance here on earth. Like it just don't start when you pass and you go to heaven. Like there are abundance of resources, love, joy, peace, all the things here on earth. And one of the things, hey y'all, I see you hopping on. If you're live, tap live. I'm just sharing my heart this morning. I really didn't have an agenda. It's just God put it on my heart, so I just said I'm gonna share it. But one of the things that really irritates me in a way, because I feel like it's just a passion of mine, is that believers and just people in general, we may lack, we, let me make sure I get my words together. We lack knowledge and understanding when it comes to finances, a lot of us, right? But we're so well versed in the abundance of joy, the abundance of peace, the abundance of love, the abundance of all these other things. But when it comes to our money and when it comes to our finances, we don't really know what it is to have an abundance of resources. And it feels like in a way we've accepted that. We've accepted that as our end point. And I think the reason why it really irritates me a little bit is because the impact that we make in the world, or the impact that we make on people, a lot of the time is directly connected to our resources, aka our money, our coins, all that stuff. So people are drawn to you, yes, because of the spirit that you carry, the joy that you have, the peace that they see on you, right? But then I believe that there's like a remnant of people who say, oh man, they love on people, they have peace, they have joy, and they have resources, they have money. And it's almost like the icing on the cake for a lot of people to come into like who Christ is, who he is, his abundance and the fullness of who he is. So I don't know, it's just something that was really on my heart, and y'all feel free to chime in the comments and tell me what you think. But our impact, I feel like, is a lot of the times directly connected to our resources and our coins. And if you think about it, there are people in high places, and I believe the trajectory of this is changing. But there are people in high places who are able to make decisions and make things happen in the world that don't have any type of faith or anything like that, right? And so I just believe that it's super important, because if we want to make that impact, right, if we want to give, if we want to create foundations, if we want to do the big things that I know that I'm going to do, um, we need to understand that that impact is directed to our money, And we have to stop running from that. Like, you got to have the money in order to do what you want to do in the world, sis, period. So, growing up, I feel like I didn't have a lack of money, right? In my household, or at least it didn't feel like that growing up. I didn't feel like I had a lack of anything. But one thing that I struggled with as an adult was having both the family, the friends, the love, the peace, the joy, and having the money and having the resources. I'm crooked on here, and having the resources. So that's just something that I've always struggled with. And I mean, I don't struggle with it anymore, but I struggle with that, having both. And I had to realize and kind of let God walk me through the journey. As you can have it all. You can have it all. You can have the resources, you can have the love, the joy, the peace, the friends, the family, and all of that, right? Another, and as the Lord put this in my spirit, like, you don't have to be a broke believer. It took me back to growing up in Cali, and for those of you who don't know, I'm from California. And when I did go to church, because we didn't grow up in church, I would go to these small, um, like African American, mainly African American churches. And growing up, I would remember listening to like what the prayer sounded like, or what the environment was. And it was very much, a lot of times, like begging God for more, begging Him for this, and, begging, begging, begging. And one thing that I realized growing up and becoming a believer is like, I got access to it all. There's no need for me to beg. It's already there. It's literally at my fingertips. It's just lining myself up with the principles and all that stuff in order to really receive it. So, my experiences now, of course, have look different, and they are different. Um, but I don't know. I just feel like it's time, and a part of my responsibility is to break that mindset that you can have both. You do not have to be a broke believer. It's so bold to say a broke believer, and it really will turn. Um, it's either gonna wake somebody up or it's gonna turn somebody away. But either way, I even asked the Lord, before I go in here, this is a little bold to say, but He said to me, "Well, I was bold. You have to be bold in order to get people to really see what it is that I am doing, right?" So all of that, you can have it all, sis. You can have both. You can have the resources, the money, the coins, and make the impact. You can have it all. Somebody put that in the comments. I can have it all. And the reality is of it is, yes, Delisa said, that'll preach. Yes. The reality is we have to do it, because if we don't make the impact, who will? And we can't sit back and be like, oh, this is going on in the world. Will you play a part in that? You are an important vessel in the world, in the world. One of the most important vessels in the world to God. So, money is just another tool, just another resource given by the source. So, you have access to it. You have access to everything. What you need to do right now is say, okay, well, what do I need to learn? I need to help me get this together, right? And so you can go on that journey, and so God can do what He's doing through you. And that's what the ladies in my Abundant Living Coaching Program are going through right now. They're learning the tools, they're learning the systems, they're learning um, the understanding of money, all of that stuff, so that they can be on the receiving end, understand how to use wisdom in your finances. And it's just so much. It's so much. And I have experienced God just continuously doing things for me, because of, not because I'm special or not because I understand this. At one point, I didn't understand this, right? And that's another thing. We need to start looking at people who probably are a little bit more ahead and thinking that there's something different about them. There isn't. There's nothing different about me. Only thing that's different is that I took the time to learn, to understand, and to get help. That's it. Period. That's it. And so I do believe that this is a season where a lot of believers will start to step up and out of the bondage of like not wanting to get help and not, not reaching out for help. Because the reality is there are things that there's impact that needs to be made in the world, and it only can be made by you. You know what it is that you want to do. You know the foundation you want to start. You know the housing complex you want to own. You know whatever it is. You're the only one that knows what that is. But you also know that you got to have resources to do that. And so, step one is breaking all those shackles from what we have been through. I was even talking to one of my clients about yesterday about her family and how she grew up. And her mom always told her to hold on to everything you got because you don't know if you're gonna get more. What? Hold on, but we understand why her mother thought that way, because back in her day, in the things um, that she had to do, right, the sacrifices that she had to make because she had so many children, it makes sense. But at the same time, biblically speaking, it doesn't make sense, because if we say we serve a God as abundance, then we don't worry about having a little bit of eating a little bit more than we should, or using a little bit more electricity than we should, or using a little bit more gas than we should, even in a pandemic. I don't care how high the gas is. I still serve a God that is abundant and that has abundance available to me. Our job is stewardship. Steward what he gave us, right? So anyways, I can talk about this all day, literally, because I do. Well, all day. But I don't know, that was just on my heart. And so if you have any comments or you have anything that you feel free to drop it. I am more than open to having the conversation. And I just want to leave you with, you don't have to be a broke believer. And whoever told you that, or whoever gave you that assumption through the way they live, they just didn't know. They just didn't know. Period. They just didn't know. And our responsibility as we grow older is to line up those experiences that we've had growing up and get the proper tools and the proper wisdom through the word and through people who understand the word and understand the wisdom of God, so that you can just line your life up to what am I trying to say? Line your life up to where it makes sense for you. It makes sense for you. So yeah, that's all I got. I just had to get that off my chest. But what y'all doing? Because I can't see nothing. Only thing I can see is Instagram comments. I cannot ever see Facebook comments, but that's okay. But yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna get back to work. I have a lot to do. So, but of course, when the Lord puts something in my heart, I try my best to be obedient and just say it, no matter who's watching, whatever. Just say what I'm supposed to say and move on. So that's what I'm doing. All right, y'all. So have an amazing Tuesday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye. Bye, Instagram. Oh, bye.